Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelly, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in. Hi all. Angie won't let me beatbox or sing the opening anymore. So
I'm a big bad bully.
She is. She said it's an editing logistic nightmare. So this is a boring cold opener right here. I'm Shelly.
Hi, I'm Angie. So a little PSA that leads me right into it as I choke. So I know that we had a little bit of an unexpected break, but I got real sick. I got the fall crud. I had no voice, and I had a lot of gunk that did not need to be shared with anybody, including my besties. So
I didn't want to.
Sorry that we had a little bit of a hiatus that was unannounced.
She had a little bit of the plague.
I was flat out.
Yeah.
For like 2 weeks. So we're back today.
We're back.
Yes.
We're back in.
And Shelly, for the love of God, stop singing.
I sang. Sorry.
Can somebody who understands audio editing maybe explain to Shelly in a different way why we can't do that?
I think it's her just being a big meanie. I'm not letting me.
Laura, what are we talking about today, Shelly?
Big meanies? No. We are talking about, I think this is something, it's an important time of the year to have a little bit of a PSA about the holidays. We have holidays coming up, and although that can be a very joyful time of year for family and friends, for a lot of people, it can be a very challenging time, and it can be a very emotional time.
It can.
And not necessarily.
It can be a very lonely time.
Yeah, not necessarily joyful. And this is kind of the permission to have the holiday season that you want to have.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's okay if it's not a holly jolly one.
So we're going to talk about it is okay to not be okay. My holidays this year are going to look a lot different than they ever have. And I am struggling to come to terms with that. So I now have all 3 of my kids and all 6 of my grandkids live out of state. So I'm sitting very much in the, why would I bother decorating or baking cookies or doing any of those things? Well, I mean, the short answer is, well, for you and Jeff, of course. Yes, of course, I want holiday cheer in my home. However, I feel like that might be just a constant reminder throughout the months of holidays that I do not have grandkids coming over because we normally host Christmas.
Right.
So I am struggling with, I don't think I want to decorate even. And I don't know that that's the right answer to not do it.
Yeah.
But that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So how do we reconcile when everybody else, or many people, have lots of holiday cheer and they have great things going on, and you just don't feel like celebrating because you don't want to do it in the way that you're kind of not having a choice to do it?
Yeah, I remember when my kids got a little bit older, when they were up in their teens and stuff, in our whole family. So here's just in a nutshell, the holiday season to me is often joyful because of children.
Sure.
That's where a lot of it came from. And when my kids were older, in our immediate family, Ethan was for a while.
Ethan's her son.
Yeah, he's my son and he's 29 now, but he was the last little one. And then my niece had her son, who is quite a few years after Ethan. So when Owen entered the family, we kind of got re-energized again. Things had really toned down in those years where all of our kids were young adults.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the same. So we had a, in quotes, baby again when we had Owen, and it kind of re-energized Christmas. And then there wasn't another real baby until Avery. So we went through quite
Avery's her granddaughter.
Yeah, Avery is my granddaughter. Who's 9 now. So, but just my brother and my sister. My sister doesn't have any kids. My brother, all of his kids are grown. So now it's just the last few years since the addition of Owen, who, by the way, now is 21. That's crazy.
Oh, my goodness.
Avery is now 9. Now we have Cam, who's 3. Those 3 have kept our family holidays going. Really.
Right.
Seriously, it's been the power of those 3 the last 20 years, because without the little kids, our holiday season was just a lot different. It was a lot more toned down. Nobody believed in Santa Claus anymore. Nobody was really into that. So they got really downplayed for a long time. So I understand. And I didn't decorate as much and I
Right.
didn't go as overboard and stuff because it just felt unnecessary. It was like, I do all the work on this. I was always the one doing it.
Right, and
So,
I've hosted Christmas for years now, and it's always been like Christmas morning, my parents come over, the kids, the grandkids, like we do a brunch thing, we
mhm,
open gifts, like I make wassail, it's a whole thing, and it's a tradition, right? And traditions change.
yeah.
So my sister, a few years ago, converted to Judaism,
Mhm.
and then they moved out of Texas, out of state. In wait,
Into
hang on,
Texas,
they
from
moved
Washington,
to
Texas.
Texas from Washington. So it's basically Jeff and I and my parents left here in Washington. So it's like, how do we celebrate? So I'm very much hoping that we get invitations to like friends' Christmas parties and stuff like that so that I can feel holiday cheer
Mhm.
without noticing really strongly that my kids and grandkids aren't there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's a just, like a little bit of a distraction. I also think um, it is absolutely 100% okay for this to be a transition year and for it
mm,
to be not joyful and for it to be kind of it's okay to properly say goodbye to something that was really, really important.
right,
And if the answer to that is feeling some grief and some sadness, that's okay too. But
right.
that being said, of course, there's ways to celebrate differently and on a different level. And you might find that going to a friends and families gatherings or going to some adult Christmas or holiday, parties might be kind of fun. Might not be
Right.
something you've had time to do.
I just feel like we've always had a really bountiful under the tree
Hmm.
situation, like lots of
Hmm.
presents, and it's really fun to wrap all that.
Yeah.
But
Although, by the way, I put all those in bags now. I don't wrap them.
well, it's
Big
still wrapping it.
decorative bags.
So it's like if I put up a tree, is it just going to have, because like when I get stuff for the grands now, I'm not going to be wrapping it and shipping it. I'm probably going to just order stuff to be delivered to their house,
Yeah.
like by Amazon or something. So it's going to look very much like the Charlie Brown little Christmas tree that has one ornament. Like it's just like two presents under it. That feels weird. Like we
Yeah.
have this stuff with Jeff's family up in Bellingham, but that's a gift.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't
I
know. It
I
just feels like,
downsized
what does this even look
I
like?
downsized my tree 3 years ago from a really big tree,
Mm,
and I made a very small tree, and that helped with that. It still gave Phil still liked it because it still had the lights and this and that, but I literally just downsized it, and that made it less apparent. I put up lights in the windows and did some other it was just a different way of decorating because I felt the same exact way that you did, like, "Why have this big tree when there's not" and I still have my grandkids here and stuff, but
right.
it's just like the nature of what the gifts were and stuff started getting smaller, and it just wasn't and all the stuff was at their house, like, I was bringing
Right.
the presents
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
them to put under their tree to open and stuff, and we do some of it on Christmas Eve at our house. So there are traditions and things that, you have to look at it as this is an opportunity to figure out a new way to celebrate.
Well, if it tells you anything about me, last year we had two full Christmas trees, one in the entryway and one in the living room,
Yeah,
decorated in different decor. So the living room one is blue and white, and the front door one is buffalo plaid.
yeah,
Um,
cute.
the year before that, we had the 2 years before that, we had three trees. We had those two, and then there was one upstairs in that landing area that
Yeah,
was just like super colorful, all the stuff that all the kids have made and all that kind of stuff, like just the random leftover ornaments.
yeah.
So a couple years ago, I had three full size Christmas trees
Mhm.
decorated differently. Like we do the what are those called? Like the bow, what are they?
Oh, the,
Garlands, like
garlands, yeah.
garlands down the staircase, like all that kind of stuff. And it's like that just feels really empty
Mm,
not having, like, why do all that if nobody's going to see it? And yes, there's the argument for, well, you and Jeff will see it,
right.
but it just doesn't land the same.
Well, and maybe
So
there
how do you
haven't you were
reconcile that?
here's the thing, it's a lot of work, honestly. It's It's a lot of work to do all that
There is.
decorating. And if you're doing it mostly for the joy of other people, you might find that you're completely fine with not doing it and spending all the time and stuff and doing it very downscaled. Like I've really enjoyed my downscaled
Mhm.
stuff and it's been easier to clean it up afterwards and it still gives the feeling, the vibe of the holidays, but it just is a quarter of the work that it used to be
Right,
because
I'm
I was
definitely
doing
not doing multiple trees.
yeah, and I was doing the same thing. I was
0%
doing it
chance of that. Yeah.
for other people's enjoyment, and when it started transitioning to other people's houses, like my daughter's house, it was like, "Oh, good. Well, the pressure's off me. I don't have to do that much."
Mm.
So, you might just find that you're completely and maybe I know that what we need to do is I know we need to spend some time together during the holidays, so we'll do some baking days, and we'll
Yeah.
we'll do some things that feel and have our
We
spiced
normally
apple
do, like, cookie
cider.
baking days with my mom and AJ and,
Yeah.
like, we've done all sorts of baking stuff, like, we do, oh gosh, dozens and dozens and tens of dozens of cookies, like, more
Mhm.
cookies than any home would
People.
ever possibly need.
Mhm.
Um, so it's like I can still bake those cookies, but, like, the last couple years, I've done royal icing, which is a very intense
Yeah,
labor of love. Those are hard to make,
yeah,
but I love making them. So it's like, I guess I'll give them to other people.
yeah. I mean, and for you out there, if you are for some reason experiencing a different holiday this year, it might be different because some of the people who were here last year aren't here this year, like what Angie's going through. It might be maybe you have a different job and you don't have as
Or
much
you've lost
time off,
someone, like, they're like
parents or
right, if you
family
lost parents or
members.
partners or
Yeah, you might be in a different relationship or not in a
mhm.
relationship this year, and maybe you were last year. So maybe something is happening to you that makes this holiday season different and maybe not as joyful. Maybe financially you're struggling because a lot of us are in the current economy. There's a lot of things going on, and maybe you're going to have an enforced scaled down Christmas, whether you want it
Right.
holiday season, whatever holidays you celebrate. And it's like, I think the thing that we always rediscover every holiday season, I know I remember this because it's a time of year when people think about other people. We
Mm,
become more charitable. Like this is a time of year when we think of others. Like it's
mhm.
just something built into the spirit of this time of year. And this year, you might want to think about yourself and where you're at and how you're honestly feeling. And maybe it's an opportunity to reach out to people you haven't in a while. Like maybe reach out to some friends that you haven't talked to,
Yeah,
reach
and
out
I
to some family.
I think that's good 'cause, we come up with, like, a general topic that we're gonna talk about, but it's like, well, maybe we create new traditions,
Yeah,
and, like or we could do a Friendsgiving, or we could do
yeah,
our own little dinner party with just the 4 of us or,
yeah,
like that kind of a thing. So, here's what I would say,
with
if you
some bottles of wine
Sabine.
or bottles of wine.
I loved how the captioning, did the waddles of vine because it corrected it to bottles of wine.
Yeah, it knew.
Um, if we, uh, intentionally reach out and find those people in our lives that might be having a hard year, like, "Hey, Amanda is having a rough minute right now. Let me see if she wants to come over and do some baking." Like, just kinda consider all the people. If you're in a really good headspace and everything's going great for you, awesome. Like, maybe consider those people who are not and see if there's someone you could reach out to and kind of bless them with, like, "Hey, do you wanna come over and
Yeah,
help me
spend some time.
decorate or, do wrapping or, like, let's get together and do a candy cane bar," whatever.
Yeah,
Candy making, cookie baking, doesn't have to be around food.
yeah, it doesn't have to be, but if it is,
But
it's there. But I think that's the thing is what we find out is that this holiday time of year, it isn't really about presents. It really isn't
mm,
about giving gifts or receiving gifts. It actually is about people. It's about connections and having that feeling of belonging.
mm,
And that I think is where people sometimes feel isolated and cut off for whatever reasons. It could be that maybe your family moved,
right.
or it could be a loss. It could be a relationship broke up. It could be somebody in the family passed away. There's all kinds of reasons why people leave us, voluntary and involuntary. And so if you are struggling and feeling alone, and sometimes it's hard it's actually hard to recognize that sometimes.
Right.
You just feel the sads and you don't know why the sads are happening. And then it's like, oh, this is going to be my second Christmas without my dad or whatever. Like this year will be my 10th Christmas without my dad. And I think of things like that. Like sometimes that makes me a little melancholy during the holidays
Sure.
when you recognize, and my mom, it's been, 30 without her. And it's sometimes those things, those feelings come up during the holidays because maybe you haven't been around your parents or your aunts or your uncles or your sisters or whatever, brothers for decades. And it can still, that loss can still be with you. It can
Right.
still, the holidays remind us of family and friends. And sometimes we remember, oh, we miss those people.
Right.
So it's okay to feel anything that you feel. But if you're feeling alone and you recognize that, and it actually is like, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling alone, then you might want to reach out. You might want to reach out, and it's embarrassing sometimes, or it feels maybe like you're weak sometimes to say, I'm kind of lonely. But
Right.
that's the time to reach out to friends and family because I can guarantee you somebody's going to invite you to something. If you just let them know you're feeling a little left out or you're needing some company, then ask. 'Cause sometimes people will assume you're all booked up.
Well, because we see each other's highlight reels,
Yep.
right? We see on social media all of the great things are happening with people because we're not usually posting the real shitty stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm feeling real lonely right now, or I mean, unless we're, I mean, some people do post a lot of negative stuff, but if we're having a rough minute, it's pretty rare for people to be vulnerable and say, I'm having a rough minute. So we're seeing only the curated stuff that people want us to see
But we think
about
everybody else is
themselves.
comfortable. So it
Right.
makes you
So
uncomfortable.
I have started lately when people are like, "Oh, how's it going?" It's like, depending on how well I know the person, it's like, "I'm having a rough minute, but I'm doing okay." And it's like, instead of just being like, "Oh, yeah, everything's great," because I don't want to show up inauthentically
Right.
and like fake it. So I've been taking a little bit of a break from socials because I don't want to bullshit people
Yeah.
and pretend like do the song and dance like everything's awesome when I am going through shit.
Yeah.
It's like it's okay to admit that and
Yeah.
say, I'm having a rough minute and I need a break.
Yeah. And that's the thing too is maybe this year, maybe some people find comfort in being alone and having a little solitude. I remember when I was in college, I actually read a book. It was called Solitude, and it was about
Oh,
famous people in history, like different creative people, science people. It was people from all different, kind of famous people, but that would take breaks. Like that would just. This was way before social media, but these are people who were kind of famous for taking breaks from society and doing some downtime and just healing and preparing for whatever the next big thing in their life was. And if you want to do that, that's okay too. Like if you're like, I'm going to lay low this holiday season, I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to put my slippers on. I'm going to get some hot cocoa and I'm camping out in
right.
front of the TV. And that's going to be the holidays for me.
Yeah,
That's okay too. Like
it is.
it's what you need, how to feed your soul. Sometimes you feed it with other people and with interactions, and sometimes you feed it by just healing and nurturing yourself. And none of those is wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think there's comfort in both.
Well, I very much now am looking forward to hanging out with this one.
Mm.
I mean, I always look forward to it, but one of
No
the things
pressure
that
on me.
one of the things I appreciate most about Shelly is she can recognize what you need or want from her before you even know it. So if I am super excited and I need somebody to share in that joy, like she's the one that's going to sit and wag her tail with me and be like, oh my
I
God, this is so
do.
awesome.
Lots of
Or
tail
like, I have
wagging.
no idea. Let's try this. I'm all in. Let's go.
Yeah.
Or if like she just notices you kind of pulling away, it's like, oh, okay, I need to like show up and let's bake some cookies. Like Angie's having a rough Christmas.
Yeah.
We're going to show up. And that is exactly why she's my best friend because she knows how to read me better than I do. So,
Well, and I think that like people undersell themselves. I think you probably do that when with your friends and a lot of you out here who are listening. I think it's a natural thing, especially for women for some
mm,
reason. I think women have a kind of innate sense of getting the feelers out there and just kind of knowing something's different with so and
Right.
so.
Something's going on.
We don't always know what the thing is, but for those of us who feel like if you're feeling right now like you're in a great space and you're feeling really good and positive and you know everything's going good for you, take a minute and just do a check of your family and friends through your lists in your mind and maybe check in. If there's
Hmm.
somebody that you're like, I have a question mark by so and so, I wonder how they're doing. Because that's part of the holiday thing is reaching out to people. I think a lot about people who I'm only in touch with sometimes during this year. And this is the time of the year where I reconnect sometimes with old high school friends and I'll put out a little feeler and say, hey, how's everybody doing? So it's about connections and staying in touch with people. And sometimes you'll run across someone and they're having a rough minute. And then it's like, well, this is why I was doing the check.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think that would be a good practice for us to get into is to kind of do I haven't heard from Jane in a while.
Yeah.
Like, let's just check in and see how she's doing, or let's invite her over. You could have a little Friendsgiving, or is there a word for friend Christmas? Like a holiday party? Like just a holiday party is probably what it's
Yeah.
called.
Let's call it that.
Let's call
Let's
it a
coin
holiday
that
party.
phrase.
Trademark that.
A
We're going to
friend's
make a million off
Xmas.
of it.
Yeah. But no, and I think in our current world right now, where there's so much stress and tension, there's a lot of unknown going on, which makes people very scared
Mm,
and vulnerable. Everybody feels like, what is going on? So I think the thing that would help everyone during this time is the reminder that that there are people who care.
mm-hmm,
Because it feels like right now in our world there's a lot of people who don't care or who only care about themselves.
mm,
And I think we could very much change a lot of the vibe and reduce a lot of tension in our current times if we knew that people care.
mm.
When a stranger smiles at me right now, it means so much more than it did 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like when somebody holds a door open for me going into a store or something, I make sure I smile and say thank you, like directly into their face
Right.
because we are needing that. We need to know that strangers care. We need to know that other people have empathy and that there is still kindness.
Yeah.
And that's part of this whole thing too. I think sometimes we feel disconnected because there's not a lot of that out there right now.
Right. Well, it was funny. I was at Safeway the other day, a grocery store, and I was very in I was in task mode and I wasn't having the best day. I wasn't having the worst day, but I was just kind of like let's just get in, get the groceries, get out. Like I just needed a few things. And I was very much in my head. And I'm walking through the aisles of the grocery store, and this lady stops me and she goes, your hair is the coolest color of blue. And she's just lit up, right?
Mhm.
She's like, that is such a cool color. Like, I've seen really bright blue, but I've never seen like that really light teal. It's really pretty with your face. And I was like, it pulled me out of whatever I was in.
Yeah,
And it was like, oh God, there are humans around me. And I'm here in my own little
yeah,
wackadoodle tailspin in my brain. And when I walked away, like I felt really good, like, oh, my hair looks cute, like she likes the color. And I was like, shit, I'm normally that girl.
yeah,
I'm normally the one that's like, oh my God, that shirt on you. Like I'll say nice things to strangers.
yeah,
So it's good to remember that you can do that for people too.
yeah.
Like just kind of if you notice something nice, say it.
This is all free, you
It's
guys.
all free.
All of this is free. None of this costs anything but a couple sentences and a genuine, authentic smile. That's
Yeah.
all it takes sometimes to literally make someone else's day. And we
Yeah.
don't know. We do not know what people are going through. Like people might not, that girl didn't know Angie was going through having a rough minute. And like you said, that just kind of pulled you back.
Yeah, it was like it sucked me back into reality. Like, oh, and then all of a sudden you hear the music and you see that it's like, oh God,
It's
like you
like
were in your own little
It's like the
tunnel of
Wizard of Oz going from black and white
yeah,
to
it's
color.
like
Like all of
it
a
was like
sudden,
everything was at a stop and I was just going and trying to find the right noodles and the right,
mhm,
meat. And it was like, oh God, there's a whole
things are
world happening
happening.
around all
Oh,
these senses are happening. I was just in this little tiny microcosm of my brain, like trying to sort, like figure out a problem.
yeah.
And it's like there's this whole world spinning
And
around
you
me.
don't have to make best friends with people. You don't
No.
have to have 45-minute long conversations with them. We're literally saying it's just a quick comment like
Yeah.
that and a hello, or just holding the door and smiling. It's just little moments like that during the holidays when you're feeling alone, when somebody acknowledges you, it means a lot.
Do you know one of the most fulfilling things to do, and also one of the most needed, is if you're out and about, I always make sure that if I see someone who's like really elderly or handicapped or um I'm gonna sidebar into when I was in college, I was a psych major, so I was a psychology major, and we were learning about different disabilities and how it affects people psychologically. And we were given homework to where for 3 different days we had to have 3 different disabilities. So one day we had to put patches over our eyes and glasses, so we had to be blind
Mhm.
and have our friends lead us around. One day we had to have our ears plugged so we couldn't hear. And one day we had to be in a wheelchair all day. That was the hardest one by far. You would think that would be the easiest because you still have your senses.
Mhm.
Nobody made eye contact with me. They'd see you and just look away. And it was horrifying.
Yeah.
Like you don't exist anymore because people don't want you to think that they're like
Staring at you because they're
staring at you because they don't want to draw attention. Like I knew I was in a wheelchair. Like it's not like I'm going to forget about that. So I have been since then, which I was 19 at the time, very aware that if somebody has a physical disability or if they're elderly and, like they're just going through, like you see like a little old man hunched over trying to open the door. If you give them a really warm smile and like direct eye contact, you don't even have to say anything. Just an authentically warm
You know
smile.
what? People who are struggling or who have, it's not even a struggle. Like if you're in a wheelchair, maybe you've been in a wheelchair your whole life, maybe you've only been in it X amount of time, whatever. But like you said, the person who is in the wheelchair, they absolutely know they're in a wheelchair. And what they want is for you to treat them like they're
Yeah.
just a human. That's it. They
I
just
couldn't
want to be
believe
treated
like
like everybody else.
nobody would make eye contact with me.
Yeah.
I was like, my God, this is awful feeling.
Yeah.
It felt terrible. So since then, I mean, 33 years ago, I make damn sure if I see somebody in a wheelchair to make direct eye contact with them and smile. You
Yeah.
don't have to say anything. You don't have to do whatever. You just smile at them and you can see on their faces that that's not
People
normal.
just wanna be treated like they're regular people, that's
Yes.
it. That's most of us wanna fit in, we wanna belong, we don't wanna be ignored or shunned or
Well, they are a
yeah.
whole human.
They are
They just for some
absolutely
reason can't walk.
yeah, that's the
Like,
thing is, like, it is a perception of able-bodied people
mm.
that
Have you seen Squirmy and Grubs?
uh-uh.
Oh, it's a couple. So he is, I don't want to misdiagnose what his handicap is, but um he is wheelchair bound and like has very small
Mm.
limbs and not like he can't, and his wife is like fully able-bodied, capable, and they have a like social media, like they do like videos of just like what does our life look like,
I think I have s
he's super duper disabled and she is fully capable. And a lot of people think that they're faking their relationship to get viewers because why would this hot girl be with this guy? But he's a really cool guy. So why wouldn't
yeah,
people have lots of questions about logistics? So
yeah,
it's like, I love watching them and I love how they come at the questions that are like, well, you can't actually be attracted to him. And he's like, well, who's to say I'm attracted to her?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So Squirmy and Grubs, they're awesome. I
Okay.
love them. I watch them every day. Sorry.
I think I have s I
Yeah.
think you showed me,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's, like that's the whole thing about, like, when we're talking about this time of year and stuff, it's just it's it's about
Give that
humanity.
extra
It's
smile.
about yeah, it's about
Mhm.
donating your empathy and your kindness and the things that make you a wonderful person. It's about like spreading that out there, and that's what the holiday spirit is. And when holidays look different and they're not what you're expecting for whatever the reasons, we still need all that in this world. We still
Mm,
need all that.
I
And
agree.
and it's like I went and made a donation to the food bank a couple weeks ago, and it felt really good to do that because especially with what's going on in our country right now and the SNAP benefits and all
Mhm.
that stuff, they knew there was going to be extra pressure on all the food banks. So there was one just right down the road from where I live, and I went through and cleaned out a whole bunch of stuff from the move. I still had
Yeah.
stuff. Couldn't fit it upstairs. It was sitting down in my garage. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to
Yeah.
donate this. So I took a whole bunch of canned goods and non-perishables over and I did a cash donation and I left and I felt like even though this is a small whatever it is in the drop in the ocean,
Well,
when
it
you add
helped
your
that
drop,
starfish. Remember the kid on the
yes,
beach throwing the starfish, and he's like, "There's millions of these. How can you figure you can make a difference?" He's like, "Made a difference to that one,
right.
right?"
And that's the thing is your drop in the ocean, when you add that to everybody else's, you have an ocean. It's like you don't have to do ridiculous gestures. It can
Hmm.
be simply, I'm going to clean out my canned goods today and donate some of them. You know, it can be, but little things like that make you feel, I don't know who's receiving that stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
who's going to get that stuff. It doesn't matter. It's helping someone else, even if it's a stranger. And I think sometimes, even if you want to be alone and you're like, I need some time off, doing little things like that.
Mm.
A lot of the grocery stores, you can buy like a $5 gift card, like a Fred Meyer or Safeway or
It
whatever your
doesn't have
local
to be a
grocery.
huge
You
thing
can
because
do
it'll
that
make a
and give them to the
difference,
cashier and say, give these to people you think might need them.
right?
And I've done that before. But it's even if you don't want to be out hustling and bustling and doing all this stuff one on one because you just feel like you can't do it. You
Find
can,
something you can do.
yeah, find something you can do that means something to you. It doesn't, nobody else
Yeah.
even has to know you've done it. It's just, you know, you've stayed connected somehow. And that's going to make you
Well, and if you
feel,
want to go buy presents, you can do Toys for Tots or something like
yeah,
that, like where
there's
you're
always a giving tree or
hmm
something.
something like
I
that.
like to do things like that, especially you can always donate also to a pet, to an animal shelter. They need stuff at Christmas time
They
and
do
holidays too. So I
because
was
dogs are people too.
dogs and kitties and bunnies, they're all,
Dogs are people too.
they're people too. So, you know, just even if you want to connect like that, or if you have an hour or two of your time to donate, you know, sometimes doing that, donating your time to a charity
Hmm.
can make you feel connected in a way that just gives you that sense of humanity.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
it's finding that thing.
What a great topic and very timely, obviously, because we're about to roll into the main holidays of the year. So I would love to know how you guys pivot when something like a holiday celebration doesn't look exactly the way that you thought it would.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I think
Yes.
I would love to hear too.
And
'Cause
thank you guys for holding
helps.
space for me and letting me talk about it. Thank you, Shelly, for holding space for me and letting me talk about it. So let's roll into our rapid fire questions, which I think are so fun. Apparently, Shelly is stressed out about it.
Always.
So, Shelly, what is your favorite Christmas cookie? Like if somebody's giving you a tray
Yeah.
of
That's the
Christmas
one I'm gonna
cookies,
eat first.
which one you're like, yes, they made fill in the blank.
Oh my gosh, I love the little Russian tea cake. The
Ooh,
little, you know, it's like a
the powdered
shortbread ball,
sugary,
but
yeah, with
yeah,
like walnuts
it's
and
got
stuff.
walnuts and powdered sugar
Mm-hmm.
on the outside. I love those.
Why
Those,
wouldn't you?
they're buttery, they're sugary. I don't know, they're so good. Okay, so I will ask Angie that long holiday tradition question. Silver and gold. Which one do you prefer for decorating? Would you rather decorate with silver or gold?
Silver,
Hmm.
always. I
Always.
love silver.
Okay.
I mean, not that I don't love gold, but I'm allergic to gold jewelry, so I've always done silver and platinum jewelry.
I go
And
through phases.
since blue's my favorite color, silver and blue go really well together, and blue and gold don't.
Not as
No, I mean it's not terrible,
certain
but
shades
yeah,
maybe, but
yeah.
yes.
Okay, Shelly,
Hmm.
what is your favorite Christmas ornament that you own?
I actually have, it's about 5 or 6 of them that are very special because they go in a special box all together.
Hmm.
And it's got Chi Chi's name on a bone. It's got a little blown bird that was like Finley, looked as a cockatiel, like out of glass.
Oh, your little pets.
It's got my pets and it's got my grandkids and then
I like that
one
you led
for,
with the pets.
and then one for Riley and one for Ethan. And those
What
are,
about Phil?
there is one that's a Phil one too. But he's kind of
She
on
didn't
the,
even list the Phil one.
he's in another box, but there is a
Phil
one.
is in another
There's
box.
one that
That's accurate.
that represents me too. But the ones that are my all my I call them kids fur kids, human kids, grandkids.
Isn't it funny that you
one.
said Chi-Chi before you said like your grandkids or your children or your
No,
husband?
it's not weird at all.
That's not weird. That's very Shelly.
No, it's very me. But those are very special to me, and I've had those ones for a long time. We just added cams in there 3 years ago.
Cute.
So
I want to
so
see
I've had,
those.
yeah, they're very cute. They're special to me. So I will keep those forever. So Angie, you are at a party. You're at a holiday
Nice.
gathering,
Amazing.
and you walk up to the snack table, and there is a delicious homemade cheese ball to your left, and there is a bowl of homemade Chex Party Mix. Right?
Whoa!
Which one you gonna pick first?
I'm dipping the Chex Mix in the cheese ball. No,
Didn't say
that's
you
not.
couldn't. I
That's
didn't
not.
say you
That's
couldn't.
not true.
It would
Chex
make a
Mix or
mess.
cheese ball?
I love both of those
I
things.
know.
Homemade cheese ball is the bomb digger type.
Yeah, and we just made that pepper jam. It would go great on
Oh,
a cheese ball.
yeah.
I'm gonna go cheese ball
Mhm.
because I am one.
You're such a cheese. Delicious.
Delicious. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it that you have chosen to spend your time with us. And we would love if you would take a moment to give us a like, a comment, a share, a follow, and most of all,
Most important,
5-star review wherever you're listening.
Yeah.
Means everything because it tells all of the places. You know what? Hot Flash Chronicles is a pretty cool podcast. So that would be our Christmas wish. So thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys next time.
Ciao.
Bye.
That's it for today's dose of midlife mischief on Hot Flash Chronicles. Thanks for listening and letting us overshare.
If you laughed, nodded along, or shouted same at any point, hit that subscribe button and share us with your favorite humans. And remember, we're still hot, just in flashes.